When Paul Triple H Levesque assumed control of WWE's creative direction, the industry responded with something it hadn't felt in years: relief. This wasn't blind optimism. It was earned trust. Levesque had already proven himself. NXT wasn't just a developmental system. It was a philosophy. Characters mattered. Matches had meaning. Stories unfolded with patience and purpose. In contrast to the chaos that defined the final years of Vince McMahon's regime, Triple H represented clarity, structure, and respect for the audience's intelligence. For a time, Raw and SmackDown reflected that promise. The shows felt calmer. Wrestlers were allowed to breathe. The camera lingered instead of rushing. Wins mattered again. Losses had consequences. The product no longer felt embarrassed by professional wrestling. It felt proud of it. But professional wrestling doesn't survive on intention. It survives on momentum. And momentum is fragile. The turning point didn't arrive quietly. It exploded in front of everyone. John Cena stepped into the ring for what was framed as one of the final chapters of his legendary career. The story was textbook wrestling logic. A generational icon puts over the future. Cena tapped out. The moment was supposed to be symbolic. Instead, it was incendiary. The crowd didn't boo the opponent. They rejected the decision itself. Chants turned hostile. Profanity filled the arena. When Triple H appeared on screen, the backlash intensified. Some fans even chanted for AEW, an unthinkable response for a WWE-produced farewell. That reaction wasn't heat. It was a warning. Backstage reports suggested discomfort spread quickly. Wrestlers and executives recognized that something fundamental had misfired. The logic was sound. The execution was clean. The response was catastrophic. This wasn't a failure of storytelling mechanics. It was a failure of emotional timing. And it didn't stop there. Across 2024 and 2025, Raw and SmackDown became showcases of hesitation. Pushes started, stalled, and dissolved. Wrestlers weren't buried. They were suspended in place. Stories didn't collapse. They simply stopped progressing. Drew McIntyre embodied the consequences of that paralysis. During the pandemic, he carried WWE through empty arenas and global uncertainty. He was dependable when spectacle wasn't possible. By WrestleMania 40, his journey felt complete. He won the World Heavyweight Championship, a reward years in the making. Minutes later, it was gone. Damian Priest cashed in Money in the Bank. The decision wasn't inherently wrong. Wrestling history is full of shocking cash-ins. What followed exposed the flaw. McIntyre never recovered his footing. Instead of escalating the story, WWE diluted it. By WrestleMania 41, he was placed in a match with no heat, no urgency, and no direction. His public frustration boiled over at the Royal Rumble when poor coordination killed a planned elimination angle. McIntyre stormed out, reportedly furious that the story had been sacrificed for meaningless movement. Creative members later admitted the momentum was destroyed. The damage was irreversible. LA Knight's trajectory was even more damning. In an era where reactions are engineered, Knight's connection was organic. Audiences didn't just cheer him. They waited for him. Industry veterans publicly questioned why WWE refused to capitalize. Instead, Knight remained trapped in the upper mid-card. 2 United States Championship reigns provided credibility, but no progression. His move to Raw in 2025 felt like an opportunity. Nothing changed. By the end of the year, the man once positioned as a future main eventer no longer felt dangerous. Momentum doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes through inaction. Jey Uso represented the opposite failure. Rather than neglect, he suffered from saturation. His Royal Rumble victory, achieved by eliminating John Cena, was meant to signal elevation. Fans responded with immediate backlash. Instead of recalibration, WWE doubled down. Jey remained omnipresent throughout 2025, headlining shows without meaningful character evolution. What once felt fresh became exhausting. Audience fatigue replaced anticipation. Championships reflected the same creative drift. The introduction of the men's and women's United States Championships should have created new stars. Instead, Frequent title changes stripped the belts of significance. Reigns blurred together. Victoire liquide permanence. Championships stopped feeling like destinations and became interchangeable accessories. Even legendary moments couldn't escape the pattern. Goldberg's retirement should have been monumental. Instead, it felt rushed and obligatory. No emotional build-up. No lasting payoff. The same criticism followed Sting's farewell. WWE struggled to honor legends who weren't born within its system. The message was clear. Moments mattered less than efficiency. Behind the scenes, pressure mounted. Reports indicated growing tension between Triple H and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, whose role as a TKO board member gave him immense influence. Anticipated involvement at WrestleMania 41 never materialized. Insiders suggested the fallout contributed to leadership friction. Veteran commentator Jonathan Coachman publicly speculated that Triple H's control over creative might not last another 18 months. The creative hierarchy revealed the risk of centralized authority. Ryan Ward oversaw writing across Raw and SmackDown. Bruce Pritchard and Ed Koskey provided operational input, but final decisions rested with Levesque. That structure created consistency and vulnerability. When decisions failed, there was no buffer, no alternative vision to counterbalance hesitation. Corporate performance complicated accountability. WWE expanded globally, increased ticket prices, and secured massive media partnerships. Financially, the company thrived. Creatively, it stagnated. This contradiction shielded leadership from consequences. As long as revenue held, dissatisfaction lacked leverage. Fan perception told a different story. Levesque's average user ratings declined steadily. Common criticisms emerged repeatedly. Overly safe booking, predictable outcomes, excessive multi-person matches, weak tag divisions, and inconsistent pushes. These weren't signs of incompetence. They were signs of a philosophy misaligned with context. The approach that built NXT thrived in a controlled environment. Dedicated fans invested in slow-burn narratives. Characters evolve patiently. The main roster operates under different rules. Casual viewers tune in expecting immediate reasons to care. When stories stretch beyond their natural lifespan, casual fans don't complain. They disengage. Money in the Bank became symbolic of that failure. Once a guaranteed, star-making mechanism, the briefcase turned into a creative burden. Winners drifted without direction. Cash-ins lacked impact because groundwork was missing. The moment arrived, and nobody felt anything.